Cool. Okay, we're recording. So what I was just about to say was, well, thanks everyone for being on the call. And secondly, what I am most excited about is, about being in our team in particular, is that it's such an awesome thing to be able to say we have the youngest six-figure income earners in the whole of ISAGENIX globally in our team and in our direct upline. I mean, that's just, well, first off, Josh and Sarah, we're going to be interviewing them tonight. They're the two I'm talking about, and just such an awesome feat for you guys and to be working with you guys over the last, like Josh, you in particular, starting on the products 2.5 years ago. And just being out, having the opportunity to work with you, and then Sarah jumping on board, and just all of us, Rach, you, Cez and I being able to work together so closely on this journey, and being in the last couple ISA derbies, leading them together. And just, being able to, know that this growth has happened through that combination of being part of a wider team. That's the thing I'm most excited about. So I'm just really looking forward to you guys sharing your golden nuggets on this call around finding people. The two particular skills we're going over today, guys, is the first one, skill one, finding people to talk to. And the second skill, talking to people you find. Because I believe, and I'm sure Josh and Sarah do too, if you don't have these two skills nailed down, there's basically no point in moving on. You got to find people to talk to, and then talk to those people you find. So we're going to learn those two skills thoroughly through interviewing Josh and Cez on this call. And but firstly, I just want to start off with Josh, Sarah, and either of you can go first. Like, if you guys can just quickly share your story, just share how you got started, and kind of Josh, where you've come from quickly too, and like just what you've achieved so far in ISAGENIX. So if you can pop yourself off mute, or you can do it for you. There you go.
Hear us?
Yeah, can hear you.
We're just sitting at our first ever Cornish bakery.
Oh, have you got the Cornish cream tea yet?
Not yet. We're waiting for you guys. So
yeah, we're done in churro.
We'll see you soon. Yeah,
so thanks so much for this, Isaac. And I'll share a little bit about my story. And if I am looking a bit funny, it's because I'm on my new iPad and the camera's to the side, so it may look a bit weird. But so before I started ISAGENIX, I was studying to fly helicopters. And I was right in the middle of my commercial license, and I was really just struggling with my energy, also my weight. Helicopters have a very, very, very tight weight tolerance and where you can place that weight. So I was really, really struggling with that. And my mate Adam reached out to me and said, "Hey man, I can see you struggling with your weight. I can see you struggling with your energy. Come out to my place and I'll show you this set of products." And I was like, "Sweet as, man. I'll come around and listen to what you have to say." Anyway, long story short, because we all have an amazing product story, I lost 30 kgs in 4.5 months, or 5.5 to 6 months. My energy increased. I started waking up before my alarm clock, but the thing was that people started asking me, "What are you doing?" And I had no idea about network marketing. Who here has never ever been in another network marketing company? This is their first ever exposure to network marketing.
Quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few of you. Okay, cool. So that was me. I had no idea of leveraged income. I had no idea of online business. I had no idea what residual income was. But one week, I sent a few people to Adam, said, "Hey, can you talk to me about ISAGENIX?" I was struggling to pay my rent bill, like really struggling. Aviation is super expensive. Even a ruler is $20 because it's got to be marked in a certain way. So I was really struggling. And ISAGENIX.
Josh, can I stop you there for a second? Can you and Sarah switch headphones?
So sure.
Close to the mic.
Is that better? Okay, cool. So yeah, I was really struggling, and then and then on a Tuesday, which everyone gets paid on a Tuesday, I got an email from ISAGENIX, "Hey, can you set up your ISA wallet?" And I was like, "What's this?" It has been $100 deposited into my account, and I was like, called up Adam and I said, "Mate, is this a joke? Is this just product coupons or is this like actual cash?" And he was like, "This is actual cash." I was like, "Oh my God, I couldn't put my bank details in fast enough." The Cornish pasties are probably finished. Okay, that's done. So I put in my bank account details. 24 hours. It was I had $100 in my bank account that I really, really needed that week, and I paid my rent bill. So that was my kind of first exposure to like leveraged income, and then slowly but surely I kept stepping forward and I learned about the industry. I went to events. I never missed an event, even though I wasn't doing much. I never missed an event, and 2.5 years later, Sarah and I have turned this into a borderline multiple six-figure income, and we've just loved it. We're traveling at the moment where, you know, we've really shown people what's possible, one with the products, but two with this amazing opportunity as well. So yeah, it's a little bit about my story. Now we'll swap ears.
Hey team, it's so nice to see you guys. So a little bit about me. I started on the products about 15, 16 months ago, and I was fortunate enough to already know about the industry, network marketing, because I got shown USANA, and I got started on the products before ISAGENIX, and I got shown about the industry. And literally, like, after I got shown their comp plan, which isn't as good as ours, and I was exposed to network marketing and the magnitude of how big you can make it, I was like, I couldn't sleep. Like, I was in my 4th year of university doing my honours in textile design, and I was just blown away. Like, I went to university to make calls. I wasn't doing my work, and I nearly failed my degree because of it. But I was just so excited about how I could completely turn my life around and turn my income and the way that I can travel, because I love traveling. So when I got told about ISAGENIX, about not just the products, but the way that you can help other people and you can get your products for free, first of all, I was like, yep, cool. I didn't even ask questions. I was just right in there. And I was so pumped. Like, I just really wanted to lose around 10 kilos because I just got back from America and I put on quite a bit of weight over there. I wasn't looking after myself, drinking probably 4 to 5 times out of the week. And I got home and I really went to work, and I just made a goal and I just stuck to it. It wasn't really that hard. And I got amazing results, lost my 10, which went on to 13 kilos. And I just told everyone about it. I told everyone about ISAGENIX, and I did get quite a bit of stick from a lot of people because I was so passionate about it. And for people who don't really understand the industry, people who don't understand, you know, really, when people don't get how good you feel because they don't feel it themselves, they kind of think you're a bit weird sometimes. And because I already did have quite a lot of energy pre-ISAGENIX, when I got onto ISAGENIX, I was just like unstoppable, and I told everyone about it. And I was just really excited. And so I started to develop myself. I started to hang around lots of people who are already in ISAGENIX. And the one thing that I did is I went to launch parties. I went to the events. I was about, which probably most of you don't know, I was about 10K in debt on credit cards. Because I had a really, really bad money story, and I just had no idea about how to manage my finances. So I got into 10K worth of debt, and I still managed to get to events. That was my number one thing. I said, I don't really care how bad it is. I'm always going to attend events. I'm always going to get myself to Celebration. I'm always going to get myself to UIA or whatever it may be. Because if I don't, I'm not going to get out of debt. Like, that was my reason to be there, was to build my business and to learn. And essentially, if you don't go to events, you're not going to be learning. And it is all about being surrounded by that culture and surrounded by the people and being involved in the community. That's what got me through 100%. If I didn't attend events, I wouldn't be where I am today. And obviously I wouldn't have met Josh, and I wouldn't have met all of you beautiful people who are on this call. So that's a little bit about me, and I had an amazing product experience, and I just got excited about it. And I think another key thing for me, yes, it was events, B, it was my product experience, but C, like, it was really understanding this industry and how powerful it is, and making, like, say you guys have like an idea of, you know, how much money you want to earn and what you're capable of and how much you believe in yourself. You really need to go to work on expanding that, because when I started ISAGENIX, I was kind of like this, but kind of like this. And I was like, oh, this is possible, but I'm not really sure because it hasn't happened yet. And you've really got to go to work on your mind, knowing that you can achieve anything. And it's not as easy as saying, cool, I'm going to do it. Like, you really have to go to work on it every single day. It's not just something you do one day and stop the next day. So that's something that happened to me.
Boom. Love it. Thanks, Josh. Thanks. Freaking awesome. I love your guys' story. And just to give people a bit of a context, like, Josh, when did you start ISAGENIX? How old were you? How long have you been doing it for?
So I started ISAGENIX when I was 18. So very fortunate. I found the industry very young. So I started when I was 18. I've been doing it for 2.5 years now. And yeah, life's never been better.
My gosh. Like, who on this call, put your hand up if you wish you heard about ISAGENIX and started building an ISAGENIX business at the age of 18. Imagine where our lives would be right now. Not that there's anything wrong with where you're at, but it would just be, well, you'd be earning a multiple six-figure income. That's probably what you'd be doing. Cheers, Josh. And Sarah, how about you? When did you find out about ISAGENIX? Actually, firstly, since you heard about network marketing before, when did you first find out about network marketing? And then when did you find out about ISAGENIX and how long?
Yeah, so I was in my last year of uni. So I would have been 22, and I'm 24 now. So it was just before my birthday, actually, I found out about network marketing, and I went into just, a coffee shop, met up with people I've never met before through a girl who I worked with when I was 18, so random. And she just called me up and she was like, oh, look, I've got this opportunity, this business opportunity. I thought, you're really business minded. She complimented me a lot, and I was like, well, what is this? Totally don't have a business mind. I'm at design school. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so it took me probably about 3 weeks to go meet up with these people because I was just stressed out. I had no time at uni and it was just hectic. But I did because I was like, well, if I don't go, I'm never going to know. And right now I'm not really happy with the position I'm in. So I'm going to go and check it out. And I got told that I could live any life that I wanted to live. And this is how I do it. And I help people with their health. And I was really, really into helping people. Like, that's my number one thing. I just love putting smiles on people's faces and really seeing people excel and all that kind of stuff. So I was at uni, like, having no time. I was in a lot of debt. And so the money factor was massive for me. And that was the start of my journey, pretty much. And I remember leaving that coffee shop and just looking around down the street. It was in Torrey Street in Wellington. I remember exactly where it was, what time of day it was, everything. And I just remember looking around and being like, oh my gosh, my life is never going to be the same again after I've had that conversation. Because once you know something, like once they told me about that, it's not something you can forget. When someone says that you can have any life that you want, that you can go traveling, that you can help people, that you can earn a multiple six-figure income, like, I couldn't forget that after that conversation. So I knew that it was only going to be the actions that I took going forward from that day that was going to help me achieve that. And so then that took me to Tony Robbins in Sydney that year. And then, it was like this, a bit of a roller coaster over the next year, but then I found ISAGENIX and everything changed.
I love that. I love that. Like, what I hear with you guys is it's just been this, obviously it's been a really short time frame of a journey because you're only still young adults, but it's been this like journey, and you've just fast tracked it is what I can hear in terms of being able to grow yourselves, going to Tony Robbins. Josh, I know that you've done the Landmark Forum, the Landmark Advanced course. You've done a whole lot of Landmark courses and grown yourself over the last few years. And I've seen you go from being this overweight little brown boy who we used to go out dancing with, who basically wouldn't get up to dance on the dance floor if his life depended on it. And, just to all of a sudden, like, doing the Landmark Forum, dancing your butt off, losing weight with ISAGENIX, and just completely growing yourself, growing your income at the same time, finding, the woman of your dreams, and, like, you guys growing this epic empire together. So it really has been a journey for you guys so far. And would you agree that it's just the beginning?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. We're just getting started. We've just had a taste of what it's like.
Yeah, 100%. And like everyone says, like, you've got to really view this as like you're back at uni. Like, I got told this in my first year in ISAGENIX. This guy from Australia that I was chatting to, he was like, you've really got to treat this like you're back at university, because you can't expect to learn everything overnight. It's not about that. You went to design school for 4 years.
And have a lecturer. And have someone teaching you. You're basically taking yourself back to a self-taught university by correspondence.
Yeah. And it all comes from inside you. No one's going to beat you up. No one's going to tell you that you have to go and do something. You have to tell yourself, and you really have to find that drive inside of you to go and learn. And essentially, if you guys aren't willing to learn to do this, it's not going to happen. You have to have that drive. You have to want to learn this.
You have to want to become a master.
Yeah.
Also, I just was reading Alice's little message. I feel like Josh is an ISAGENIX geek. Like, he's learned the absolute ins and outs of the comp plan too. So, I remember I remember when both Josh and I were at the beginning, like one thing we did was we consistently trained and learnt, and we listened to podcasts every day, like in the car. When we lived out in South Auckland together, we were listening to podcasts. Like, one thing we knew that we needed to do consistently to ensure that we were going to get and achieve the goals that we wanted to learn, right, Josh, was that we needed to learn as much as we could, as fast as we could. So, team calls, automatic, everything.
And just off the bat of that, Isaac, as much as it is so important to learn, it is just as important to put that amount of effort into learning as it is into taking action. Because essentially, if you're going to learn and not take action, it's a complete waste of time.
Ignorance on eyes. Knowledge on eye.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the best thing about this industry is that you do have that leeway where you can learn and fail, and it's not going to have a massive impact on your business.
Do you guys want to know a secret? 90% of the time, Sarah and I have no idea
what we're doing.
Absolutely no clue. 90% of the time, we have no idea what we're learning, and we're probably going up about 2% per year.
Yeah, I feel like half the time I'm jumping off the edge of a cliff, hoping that I'm not going to hurt myself.
So it's like this is an industry where you can not know what you're doing and still earn ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, and this is the point where you guys just have to sit down with yourself and just say, look, I trust who I am. I trust my abilities. I trust that even if I'm going to fall, I'm going to get back up again. And I trust that even though, whatever happens, everything's going to be okay. And I know that I'm going to keep on going like this, but I'm going to keep going up. And that's just all about trusting yourself, because at the end of the day, if you don't really trust what you're doing, you're not going to get there. That was something that I've learned along the way as well. Because at the beginning, I had this massive dip and I was like, I don't really know. It just comes down to self-belief. And essentially, the more self-belief you have, the more action you're going to take, and then the more trust you're going to have in yourself.
But anyway, Isaac, we can keep getting the tips, but I know you've got to...
Thinking that.
Yeah.
You
get so carried away.
And all the journey, the whole call. But anyway, we'll get into the main gritty stuff. And one thing I just wanted to top off your story with is really that you earn as you learn in this business. And that's
absolutely
from Uni in Action, David Wood. Amazing quote. You earn as you learn. Always remember that. And my first question is, and I just want you to, just because you were the first to get started in ISAGENIX, Josh, I want you to answer the first question first. So can you talk about, firstly, when it comes to finding people to talk to, how do you actually, because I know a lot of people have asked me this question on the team, how do you actually find people to talk to, especially 2.5 years down the track, how do you still find people to talk to and enroll people?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and it takes a little bit of thinking, right? So Sarah and I very rarely go back to the same cafe twice. Okay, this is just one example. This is there's the outward thinking you've got to start thinking about. Sarah and I except a few of our favourite, but very rarely will we go back to the same cafe twice. Very rarely will we go get a haircut at the same place twice. We're always looking for places to network, always looking for places to go and turn the alarm off for the Cornish pasties. All right, that's off now. So very rarely are we going. We're always out and about looking and trying to meet people and really putting energy out there. We want to meet someone who's going to be a network marketer today. We really want to meet someone who we know is going to be good at this business. And we're just out there looking and just talking to people. Who here gets a little bit anxious while talking to people? Yeah, just scrolling across.
Most people.
Most people. Most people. Yeah. Now, a lot of people will wait for that fear to go away before they do it. All right. A lot of people who thinks the fear is going to go away eventually. Exactly. The fear is never going to go away. The difference is doing it fear. The difference between someone who's just starting out and someone who's getting masterful at this is dancing with the fear. Is doing it while being scared. You're still talking to people while being scared, and while wetting your pants, you're still messaging that network marketer who's, earning $30,000 in another company.
This is what Ben Kelly says, is acknowledging the fear and doing it anyway.
Acknowledging the fear, doing it anyway. You just got to, it's never going to go away. It's going to get less and less and less, but it's never going to go away. That person that you think's better than you is never going to become any worse than you. You're not going to get better than that person because you've already put them up on a pedestal, right? So you just got to dance with the fear, keep doing it anyway. So Sarah and I are always meeting people. We're always adding people to Facebook. Facebook is a key. Who here has Facebook? Who's got Facebook? Wow.
I do.
Yeah, so I think everyone has a network already.
Massive.
All right.
And everyone has the ability to expand their network every single day by meeting people.
Like Sarah and I, as soon as we meet someone, it's like, can we connect on Facebook? I was at the barber the other day. He didn't do a great job anyway, but we started chatting, and he was like, so what do you do? And I said, oh, I have an online business that's just launched here. He said, what is it? And I said, have you heard of ISAGENIX? We're in the UK, so no one's heard of it. And he was like, no. And he said, I was like, and we just started chatting about how he's always on his feet and all that kind of stuff. Instantly, low energy, instantly on Facebook. I know that if I get these products into his house, he's going to be able to feel the difference that I felt. So you're just always out and about trying to find people, trying to look for people, like who needs help, who can we help today, and where are they?
Yeah, on the back of that as well, Josh. On the back of that as well, Josh. It's all about just going out and connecting with people just for the sake of it as well. Like we listened in a call of Georgie Thomas when she went from 2 to 4 star in 1 week, and she just collected a lot of friends. And how easy is that? Like every single person on this call can go and collect friends. And I had a really powerful conversation with Trudy about this, and it's just about being your genuine self and just going and making 10 to 20 new friends that week everywhere you go, and being genuine about who you are. And that is what is so special about this business, is that is so freaking easy. Every single person can go and make a new friend each day. That's how I look at it as well, because essentially you've got to remember that it is really awesome and it's really important to go and connect with everyone that you meet, but also be friends with that person, because people are only going to sign up with you if they know, like, and trust you.
Yeah. Who wants an example? Like an example of where Sarah and I were at and we just got someone. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay, so Sarah and I were at who's been to London before?
Quite a few people.
Quite a few people. So we were at Victoria Street's Underground, Victoria Road, Victoria Street. Anyway, and we were just standing there looking lost AF. We were so lost, and obviously we attracted someone who was looking lost AF as well. And they asked us, "Do you know where Nando's is?" And we were like, "We don't even know where we are. Let alone where Nando's is." Yeah. So we started chatting. Anyway, figured out she was a Kiwi, and we just said, "Hey, let's catch up on Facebook." And I mean, let's connect on Facebook. Connected on Facebook, figured out she was a physiotherapist. Next time we're back in London, because we left a few days after, we didn't have time to catch up with her. Next time we're back in London, what are we going to do? Message her, hey, let's catch up for dinner, or let's go out for a drink, or something like that. Just that instant connection got them on Facebook. It was just so easy.
And as well with that, babe, it's, now we know who she is on Facebook. Now we can follow her life on Facebook, and we can connect with her through her posts.
And she's following ours.
Yeah, exactly. And it is just about plugging her in, like putting her on, because she was awesome. Like she's got an amazing personality.
She was a Kiwi.
She was a Kiwi. She understood us. She was like really chatty. So I know that I want someone like that in my business. So I'm going to connect with her through her posts, through talking to her, eventually get her on a call if we can't catch up with her in the UK. Like, that's the process that you've just got to really, once you do meet those people, you can't forget about them. And I know this because I've done this in the past.
It's that classic Cornish Wi-Fi. We get the same thing sometimes. So these guys are like touching on such gold. Like, while they're coming back, I just want to touch on a couple of things that they were saying that was just key to take on. And it's something that Rach and I do too, is every day, like, we are intentional, and Josh and Sarah are intentional about like who they're going to talk to today, what friends they're going to make, where they're going to meet people. Like, they're very intentional from the get-go as soon as they wake up in the morning about exactly how they're going to find people and where they're going to find them, to talk to. So that's where it all starts, guys. Like, you really want to first start with, like, where am I going today? What activities have I got on today where I have the opportunity to actually go and meet people out and about? And I just wanted to, they've gone off, they'll come back. So the other thing is too, like, we were just talking in the chat about Meetup. And this is just such a key thing, because even no matter what you're doing or where you are in the world, I find even in Cornwall, it's not the biggest county or anything. It's right at the bottom of England. There's meetups happening. There's people who are actively like social and want to meet up and meet new people. And I actually find just looking on the call, there's majority females. females use Meetup more than males, and there's always ladies meetups. There's always something in your area. I guarantee you, Queenstown, Nat, Wellington, Alice, like wherever you are in the world, there's going to be meetups that you can go to and meet people plenty of times throughout the week.
Showing that app. Yeah, I think the other thing is that if there's meetups in Cornwall, believe me, there's meetups everywhere, because it's like seriously like one horse town. You know, you can actually set up a meetup as well.
Yeah.
Like you can create a group. Like create a group where you are about people that are interested in holistic health. And then you have like all these people show up coming to you that are interested in what you do. You don't have to say it's ISAGENIX.
Yeah, thanks, Clark. Meet up that. So,
Awesome.
Josh, we were just covering how like you guys are really intentional when you go into your day. You know what you've got on during the day, where you're going to meet people. You're always open to meeting people, making new friends, and looking out for. Also, I know one thing you guys do is you look out for the quality of people that are like you guys, not just young, but just people who are vibrant, energetic, you know, want to make a difference. Right? And yeah, so I don't know where you guys were at, but did you want to just take off from where you were?
We had dinner with Warren Lance and a beer with him, and he said, go find networkers, go find people who are going to build this business, people that have that drive. And instantly I was like, I have not found any networkers. I don't even know any other network marketers, I know a couple in other companies, but not as many as, you know, I could know. And I was like, far out, let's go find networkers. And instantly all these people started showing up. I was like, oh my gosh, I know these people will be amazing in this business, people that have massive networks. And instantly we're out there going like that. But yeah, like just being really intentional with your day, and really going for it. It just makes the world of difference. You've got to build this business on purpose, not by accident.
Yeah. So what I do usually at the beginning of each day, I ask myself. I've even got it on my screensaver on my phone, kind of dorky, but it says, you know, what are your intentions today, Sarah? How do you want to make a difference? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve today? And even just saying that to yourself is so powerful, because it puts you in that mindset of what you want to achieve. Because if you wake up every morning and you're kind of like iffy, not really sure what you're doing, like you're not going to get much done. So I always ask myself, what is my key intention today and what do I want to do? And it's always, you know, I do want to connect with more people. I really want to share this amazing gift with people, and I want to make a difference. And if you go into each day knowing that you're going to change someone's life, it's going to happen. But if you don't start your day with an intention, nothing's going to happen. So that is really, really important to even, you know, write it out or put it on a sticky note in your mirror or something. Every single leader in this business knows what they're going to achieve that day. They know what they're doing. If you guys aren't a scheduled person, I'm not a scheduled person, but I still know what I need to do during the day, and what I need to achieve. So if you guys, you know, you're a bit stuck and you're not really sure what you are going to be doing like each day, and if you're a bit overwhelmed, a bit confused, just stick to one thing and try and do that.
100%. Awesome. Thanks, Liz. And just to...
sorry, can I just say something really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just that power of the existence structure. So that's what Nat popped in the chat there, is something that we've learned from the communication courses, because it's great to be able to create a possibility or something that you intend. But then, like, I was thinking about this guy who literally hung a cork from his bed so that when he sat up, the cork bonked him on his head in the morning, and that like reminded him about to create for the day. It was very awesome. So if it's like a mirror, like the first thing that you see, like it's so great, Sarah, it's such a good reminder, you know, on your phone or on your mirror when you're brushing your teeth, like have it written up there. It's classic. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's so true, Alice. Like having a physical, that physical one is really good.
Like
Bonking on the head.
cool.
I've never done one of that. I might have to do that one. Or water on the face or something. Like, and visual I find for me is just key. Like if I have a like vision board or like words, I find is really key. Just like you were saying, Sarah, like what Rhea Love says and what Rach just wrote for me in the chat was, Rhea Love was someone we did an Ice Derby with, and she's another leader in ISAGENIX in Australia. And one thing I always ask myself, no matter what, is like, who can I help today and where are they? Just something even simple like that, 1 or 2 questions max, where you know that's going to trigger for you like a certain context and intentionality where you're going to come from in your day to actually go out there and make a difference. Because I know that's where it all starts from. That's where Josh and Sarah get their intentionality from as well. They've got that context and they're ready to go.
And if you meet Ria, she's literally like, how much more can I serve people? That's her whole context around ISAGENIX, her business, her team, her life is like, how much more can I give? And so that question just, I think, exudes that as well. So it pulls you into that place too.
Mm. And it's funny because Josh and says, like, let me know if you agree with this, but from my experience, and I'm sure from yours, like your financial situation has all come from your ability to serve people more. Would you agree with that? Yeah. Like it's just all you're doing in this business. This whole business is just about being a servant leader, being that type of leader that just wants to give back and make a difference for no other reason but that you want to see people thrive in their lives, health-wise and financially. If you can nail that, and if you can come from that each and every single day, you will be successful in this business if you can do that consistently. I guarantee you. Cool. So Josh, Sarah, I just wanted to see, was there anything else that, like, I asked you, Josh, Sarah, was there anything else, like, how do you find people to talk to, or where do you find them? Is there any other ways, maybe even online or offline while you're traveling? Are there particular ways that you find people? Any others?
I honestly don't think there's any right or wrong way to do this. Like, it is, like, if you just kind of look at yourself, because everyone's different. Like, Josh is so different to me in the way that he connects with people, okay? It's all about being yourself, and you don't have to change who you are. You don't have to change the way you talk. Like, don't feel like there's a certain way to connect with someone. It's if you kind of just imagine, this is how I go. This is the context I have when I go into a conversation with someone. I go into the fact that I don't have a business. I don't have a multi-million-dollar business on my fingertips. Even if I think this person is going to be amazing in this business, and I put that aside. Because if you're talking to someone in the context of, oh, you're going to be amazing, like when you've just met them, you'll be amazing in this business. Like, I really just want you in my business because I know you're going to make a massive difference to my income, like all this kind of stuff. Like, people sense that even if you don't say it.
People's bullshit meters are so sensitive these days.
Yeah.
So, like, the skepticism in the world right now is massive. So if you don't have genuine intentions, count that person's not going to join.
It's not going to happen. So that's what I said, when I talk to someone, I just put that aside and I'm just going to connect with that person. And it's all about asking people questions. And I learned this on a podcast. I don't say anything about myself unless they ask me, because essentially people don't really care about me. They care about themselves. And I know that sounds really shallow, but it is what it is. So it is all about asking questions, about being genuinely interested in themselves and their life, what they do, what they want, what their why is, what they want to achieve, why they are doing what they are doing. Like, it's really about real connection. And so I don't really, like, it is just about being yourself, meeting people wherever you want to meet them. I mean, there's freaking thousands of people everywhere, and it's just about connecting with that person. If you don't have a genuine connection with that person, then why would you want them in your business? You know, you only want people who you vibe with, the people who you're going to get along with, the people who you're going to go out to the beach and hang out with for a day. You know, like, that's who the people who you want in your business. And you're not going to find that unless you become one of their best friends. And that's what I can offer you guys. It's just be a really good friend.
Yeah, Nat, if they don't have Facebook, like, I love coffee catch-ups, like going to a cafe and just catching up, and just like, I don't know, for me, I find the people that stay around the longest are the ones that I have coffee with. I don't know why. It's just have coffee and have better retention. I'm going to say that.
So people respect you when you give them their time.
Yeah.
Because you can't get your time back. That's the one thing. Okay, so give people your time. Give them the time of day. Like,
you can draw out the compensation plan face to face. Like, it's just
do it on a freaking napkin. Get them to take the napkin home. You know, and it's just about being a really genuine, loving human being. That's all it is. It's not hard.
Love it. You know what my favorite thing, Josh, what you said, the best meter? Yeah, the best meter is always on high alert these days, no matter where you go. So,
absolutely.
Being authentic and telling the truth and trying to hide something.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. And one thing I would say too is just, guys, like, if people aren't on Facebook, ask them for their phone number. Yeah. That's just normal on Facebook. Get the phone number, send them a text. People get text. We'll see their text within a couple minutes of it being sent on average, the stats that have been done. People see text sooner than they see a Facebook message. There's nothing wrong with actually even using their number and texting or calling and sorting out a catch up, like you said, Josh. Catch up with them, have a coffee, catch up, go over the complaint, the rest of it. Cool.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to the next one, like talking to people you find. So when you guys have, you've gone, let's say the scenarios, you've talked to a couple of people, you've made friends, you've met a couple, say for instance, you've made friends and you've added them to Facebook and, you've been a day or two has gone past and you're going in to connect with them a bit more on Facebook. Like, what is it that you guys actually say to people when you're talking to them on Facebook? And then what tools do you send them as well?
Okay, so who gets nervous when this happens? Who's like, shit, now I've got to tell them about ISAGENIX? Who gets nervous? Hands up. Come on, let's be real. Who gets nervous? I'm just scrolling through. Everyone's getting nervous. Same here. Remember, 90% of the time we have no idea what we're doing, so we get nervous too, all right? So I just want a few people to share, why do you get nervous?
Rejection.
Okay, rejection. That's probably 80% of people.
Yeah,
what else?
absolutely.
2 more.
Not knowing what to say.
Say that again.
Not knowing what to say.
Yep, perfect.
What did he say?
Not knowing what to say.
Oh.
1 more. 1 more person. I was going to call.
Mine is, I say too much. I over-explain. I just go into
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to use an analogy for you guys. All right. Now this is gonna crack you up. You're gonna think this is so simple, but you're gonna crack up. So, who has been a waiter or a barman or done catering or something like that? Okay. Now after mains, what's usually the first question you ask them after they've had their mains?
Would you like some pudding?
Oh yeah. Would you like dessert? Right. Would you like dessert? Now, when you're the waiter, okay, and they said, because lots of people after mains are pretty full, and the person that you're serving says, no, I don't want dessert. Well, firstly, are you anxious to ask them whether they like pudding? And 2, when they say no, do you go back and cry and say, oh my gosh, they didn't want dessert. Oh my gosh, why did they have dessert? That must have been so terrible. I didn't explain the desserts properly. Who says that? Who cries in the back because that person didn't want dessert?
Really just don't give a shit.
Exactly. Now, let's think of this, right? Let's think of it this way. If ISAGENIX was dessert for life being the main meal and dessert being like the end meal, who would imagine if it was like that? Would you be scared to ask that person, hey, do you want dessert for life? No one would be scared because they can either have dessert or they can't have dessert, but you know that the dessert's amazing. You know what dessert's going to give you. You know what ISAGENIX is going to give you, where they have no idea. Is it their problem that they don't have dessert? No. Do you need to cry because they don't have dessert? No. Do you need to be anxious to ask them, hey, do you want dessert? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no need to be scared. Now that's the ideal. That's the ideal analogy. Obviously, we're not asking people if you want dessert. You're asking people, hey, do you want to try ISAGENIX, and ask them if they can turn the Cornish pasty machine off again. Perfect. Cornish pasty machine's gone. So that's how I look at it. Of course, there's always that little bit of fear, but it's doing it anyway. Sometimes, some tables you don't want to serve, if that being, people to talk to. Some tables you don't want to serve because you're scared of the person sitting there, or, it's your friend's mum or something like that. Sometimes you don't want to have to serve that table. Sometimes you really don't want to ask them, hey, do you want dessert? Because you know that you're going to have to go back, clear their table, bring dessert back to them, clear the table again. It's going to be a bit of work, all that kind of stuff. But, it's all this little kind of stuff along the way. But what is it? What's it going to get? What's the payoff for asking people, hey, do you want dessert? Unlimited income, financial freedom, building a wall around your family. Now, if I could say to you, your income is going to be dependent on how many people you ask if they want dessert, who would go and ask everyone if they wanted dessert?
There'll be so many desserts.
Yeah, hands up if you'd ask people if they wanted dessert. Yeah, exactly.
And if you guys just notice what Josh said at the end, he said, who would you ask who wants dessert? being financial freedom, being ultimate health for the rest of your life. This is the kind of language that you need to use when you're talking to people.
Not hey, do you want to try my products? Hey, do you want dessert for life? Hey, do you want
you want ultimate health for
who
life?
you know, because I know there'll be a lot of people in here right now that'll just be talking about the products.
100%.
That just talk about the products.
And we know this because that's what we used to do.
We used to do it. We used to be a product. Yeah, of course the products have to work, but who here wants to attract a network marketer into their life? Into their business. Yeah, who wants a multiple six-figure network marketer to leave their company to join ISAGENIX? Exactly. Now, how do you prospect a network marketer? You show them the compensation plan. You be like rock steady in that you know you've got the business that's going to stay there. And you know, Sarah and I were at the UK grand launch over the weekend. We're talking to network marketers that have left $50,000, $30,000 a month in other companies to join ISAGENIX. Legit. People that have left Arbonne.
Who they're not earning that money anymore because they left.
They had to leave it, resign and build ISAGENIX. Okay, this is like the caliber of this company. So I'm diversing massively, but that's how you got to look at it. Like, do you want dessert for life? And that's what you really want to be showing people. Showing them the compensation plan. Who here has watched Jim Coover's The Truth About the Compensation Plan video? Yeah, who here has watched the 13-minute video by Eric Coover about the compensation plan? Who here has sent someone a Mary Evans video? Who here, all right, because I do this a lot sometimes, used to be, who here has sent a tool and never followed up with that person? Scroll. We all have. We all have, because we're so scared to ask them if they want dessert. Or you just forgot. All got to know and cry. Exactly. All got to know and cry because you think it's so meaningful. There's so much meaning attached to that word no. They're saying no to you. They're saying no to that. They're not going to be your friend anymore. They're saying no to dessert. Okay, and that's if you can detach yourself so much as to like no is like not yet, or I haven't informed them enough, or they don't understand yet. If you can detach yourself to the no meaning anything about you, you'll ask everyone as quickly as possible if they want dessert, if they want to join your network marketing company, because your financial future depends on how many people you can ask that. You know, and how many people you can help your people ask that, and how many people you can help your people ask that. And just keep going until you've reached financial freedom, until you're earning that multiple six-figure $1 million a year.
And that's just to add something here, babe, is that this is something that I learned massively over the grand launch opening.
You have to talk up.
Grand launch opening is that it's all about the language that you use, and you could ask people questions till the cows come home, but it's all about how you hold that posture and what you ask people. And did you want to especially around the compensation plan, and about letting people know that you have, this is something that I learned on one of the podcasts, is letting people know that you have the gold in your hand and that they want it. Okay, because like, put your hand up if the compensation plan has massively, dramatically impacted your life. Exactly. And we all wouldn't be here if we didn't help other people have that. So know that we have the gold, know that we have the golden nuggets to help those people, and holding that posture around the compensation plan and putting your hand up and being like, yes, this is massively life-changing, and I know that you can have this as well. This is how we do it. Do you want financial freedom for the rest of your life? Do you want your family to have no questions about if they can pay their bills, if they can pay off their credit card, or whatever that may be? And don't make up a story about what the other person is going to think or say back to you, because essentially if you don't tell them, then they're not going to know. But yeah, this is another whole subject. We could keep going on forever about that.
So yes, essentially talking to people you find is telling them about ISAGENIX.
Yeah.
Telling them that this is the best company, and asking them, getting into their why. Hey, a lot of people will tell you, hey, they want to lose 20 kgs. Who here has had someone say to them that they want to lose weight? Yeah. Who else? Yeah, perfect. Everyone has had someone say they want to lose weight. Who here has bothered to ask why they want to lose the weight? Yeah.
Because people don't just want to lose weight for the sake of losing weight.
Now, here's a story. So I was on the phone to, who was it? Oh, a friend of mine. And he said, I want to lose 10 kgs. And actually, no, I was on a 3-hour call with someone. It was actually for Corin. I was on a 3-hour call for Corin. And it was a father and a mother, and they had a little girl who was about 3 or 4. And they said, so I said, what's your health goal? Like, what do you want to achieve? And they said, we want to lose 30 kgs each. And I said, okay, that's awesome. I've lost 30 kgs. That's amazing. Why do you want to lose 30 kgs? And it was like silence. No one had ever asked them why. And eventually it got so deep as to the fact that, their whole family has been overweight, and they can see their daughter getting overweight because they don't know the right nutrition, all this kind of stuff. But they just wanted to be a good example to their daughter. Do you think it mattered that how much the press pack cost them? Because it was priceless to have their daughter be shown the right nutrition. It was priceless. It could have been $1,000. It could have been $2,000. They were so connected to their why and why they wanted to do it. That's the level, that's the depth that people need to go to. All right, because those people are connected to their why. Those people know why they want to do it. You could have told that person you ate grass for 30 days, and they would have done it because they were so connected to why they wanted their family to be healthy again. And that's essentially how you want to be talking to people. Who here has seen Jackson Parr's 7 questions to the why? Cake recipe to the why. Another way. 7. Yeah. Those are all like really good questions. Isaac, you can post that in the pages and just refresh everyone's memory. But really good questions to ask people. If they, what's your ultimate health goal? Okay, how much do you want to lose? Why do you want to lose that weight? If you were to, is there anything you're working towards? Imagine if you did lose that weight, how would you feel? Imagine if you didn't lose that weight, how would you feel? How would your family feel? What would you look like in your in that outfit you're going to wear to your birthday? Like, all this kind of stuff gets people really, really connected to their why. And that's how essentially Sarah and I are asking people. We never just settle for someone wants to lose 10 kgs. We never settle for that. That would be what we did when we first started, because we're like, yes, we've got a goal. We've got a goal. We asked them, we got them on the phone. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. They want to lose 10 kg. That's a president's pack. Right. So you want to lose 10 kg. So just do the president's pack, and that's 680 or 690. And they'll be like, oh, no, thank you. No. So, and that's like the level of depth. Hang on, I'm just going to bring up that message from Liz. Give me 1 second. What about if they just want to build the business, and how we get... Yeah, so that's a good question, Liz. So why do they want to build the business? Like, what is it that's attracted them to network marketing? What is it about the business that attracts them? Because some people say, I want to earn an extra $1,000 a month. Okay, well, what's that going to enable in your life? Oh, I'll be able to support my parents. Okay, well, how will that make you feel? How will that impact their lives? Oh, okay, well, if I help my parents an extra $500 a month, they'll be able to pay for their car.
What is that going to mean to them?
Yeah, what is that going to mean to them? So
how is that going to impact their life? What's going to look differently to them?
What's going to look differently? Yeah, exactly. And that's where you got to keep digging. You never stop. And you eventually get down to the fact that, an extra $1,000 a week is going to be able to pay for their mortgage, pay for their parents' car, and it's going to totally take a burden off their life that they never thought would be possible. Do you think they're going to buy a press pack? Of course they're going to buy a press pack. Do you think they're going to share instantly? Do you think they're going to have people on their mind that want this straight away? Of course they're going to have people on their mind that want this straight away. You've just got to tell them about it and not forget to tell them that it's just dessert for life. Do you want dessert? That's essentially all it is. And then also talking to people, it's not, finding people to talk to and talking to people you find. Once you're enrolling them, it's not just about enrolling them and leaving them. It's like telling them about everything about ISAGENIX. It's telling them about the events. And I'm just going to touch on events now because we're coming up to summer kickoff.
Josh,
yes.
Before you go on to that, I just saw Nat had a really good question. Maybe they can just cover that quickly in like a minute before you go on to events. The question was, what about people you haven't spoken to in a while? How did you approach them on Facebook? So what do you guys say to people you haven't really approached in a while, but you've been Facebook friends?
Hey guys, I thought I'd share with this because I do this a lot, especially at the beginning. So what I do, obviously I don't just send them a message out of the blue without knowing what they're doing, where they are, all this kind of stuff. So I go and do a little stalk of their Facebook page and go and see what they've been posting, where they've been in the world, and find a common ground to connect with them. Because at the beginning I was just calling people out of the blue, and it was kind of weird, like telling them about it straight away. But it's really about re-establishing that connection. So finding common ground, commenting on their Facebook posts, adding them to a Facebook list of your prospects or your new connections that you want to make, and just being genuine, again, being yourself and connecting them with them like you would face to face, but online. And then eventually they're going to ask you what you do. Again, keep asking them about their life, what they're doing, what they're enjoying, what their dreams and their goals are, all that kind of stuff, and they're going to ask you the same thing. And again, when they ask you, this is key here. When they ask you, don't just tell them everything all at once. Okay, so let's just get an example. Say I'm talking to a single mum who I haven't seen for 4 years. I've connected with her for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We're getting along. We're interested in the same kind of stuff. And eventually she asks me what I do, right? And I'm going to be like, I'm not going to say, oh, I've got this online business, I'm killing it, I'm making 6 figures a year, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. I'm just not going to say that. It's not going to relate to her. And she's kind of going to be like, what the hell? Like, okay, that's awesome, but she's not going to be able to see it for herself. So I'm going to say, oh, I really love it. I help single mums stay at home with their families. That's it. Okay, that's it. And then you say, oh, but I really, really want to hear more about what you're doing. It sounds awesome. Okay, so you're relating it back to her so that she can kind of see where she's at, but then not giving her too much information, because if you do, you're giving all the gold away. You know how I said earlier, you've got the gold in your hand. You don't want to give it all straight away, because then they're not going to keep asking you about it, and they're not going to kind of see it for themselves. You just got to drip feed that, little plants, little seeds, and eventually if you keep doing that, they're going to beg you to tell you about it. They're going to beg you to tell you how you help single mums stay at home. They're going to beg you to for you to tell them how you help so many mums lose that 10 kilos that they haven't been able to lose post-baby, all this kind of stuff. So it is really about, like, yes, it's important to connect with them and build that connection, but it's also about how you deliver the information that you have. Because at the beginning, I'm a talker. I just blurted it out, and it didn't get me anywhere. And so that's why I have a lot of people in my network knowing what I do, but still can't see it for themselves, because it was the way that I delivered it and the language that I used. And again, I'm not saying don't be afraid that you're going to get it wrong and you're going to give them too much information. You just learn it by doing it. It's like what Emily Lever says, but that would be a big tip for you guys, to just know that person. If you really did genuinely connect with them, you would know a lot about their life and about what they want in their life, so that you can relate ISAGENIX and your 30-second story back to them. And I'm not a single mum, but I still had that connection with her. Do you guys kind of get what I mean? And it is so powerful. It's not just about telling them everything, getting excited, because essentially that person isn't the same as me. I get excited about everything, where that person doesn't really get excited about that much.
Sarah gets excited about leaves falling on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I have to find that common ground, that she's going to be like, okay, this girl isn't a fucking crazy girl. Like she's nuts. I want to be like, cool, this girl's genuine. She is loving, and that's the kind of people that that I want to attract, and that's what I want to convey to her.
Perfect. Now,
Thanks,
I'm gonna,
yeah, go on to
okay. Now let's just quickly go on to events, because massive tangent. But do you mind if I just go on events, Isaac?
Sorry, Rachel.
Sweet. I'm going to talk about events now quickly. Yeah. I know it's a massive tangent, but because we've only got a couple of minutes. But guys, who here has come into summer kickoff? Put your hand up, please, and keep it up. I'll scroll. Nat, that was a painful. That was painful. Okay. Do. Yeah, there's, you guys are coming. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, cool. So here's the key to this business. Getting people to events is the highest paid skill in network marketing. And I can tell you this: every person who gets to this event, at Summer Kickoff, is going to be worth at least $1,000 to your business, minimum. Okay. Now, Sarah and I are going to be launching a team-wide incentive very soon. We're just drafting it at the moment to get as many people to these events. Okay.
And at least woo!
Now, Who would like 5 people of their own team to be at this event?
Put up your hands.
Hands up, please. Hands
Personally
up.
enrolled.
Personally enrolled, 5 members. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone.
Everyone wants 5. That's $5,000 back to your business. Now,
At least.
how many people would you have to enroll? Someone work this out for me to get $5,000 back into your business, hitting double PIVs. I'm really good at silence, so if someone could work that out. 5,000 divided by 400.
I just want to explain that so you can understand.
So double PIVs being $400. 12. So you'd have to enroll 12 people, right? 12 people to get $5,000 into your business. Yes, Nat, you win. So who would rather get 5 people to come have fun at an event, right? Come have fun at an event, meet the team, get enrolled, see the community, or enroll 12.5 people? You know, the skill of this is getting people to these events, and these events build belief. It's where leaders are born. It's where you see and meet people that you wouldn't necessarily see and meet should you not be there.
Just something quick, Josh, sorry for interrupting. Put your hands up if you would all like to re-enroll me into your business.
Yeah.
If I wasn't in ISAGENIX, who would like to enroll me personally into their business?
Exactly.
Okay, and the only reason I'm sitting here right now, guys, is because I went to events. Okay,
And
I
the
wouldn't
person.
I wouldn't have seen the vision. I wouldn't have met everyone. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't go to Celebration, if I didn't go to Summer Kickoff. So ask yourself, is it worth going to Summer Kickoff and these events to enroll people like me into your business? So
I went to Summer Kickoff and I booked my flights 2 weeks. I totally forgot about it. Okay. And I booked my flights 2 weeks being a student, a helicopter pilot, spending $20 every time I lost a ruler, which was often. And I just got to this event and it lit me up. It was like, oh my goodness. Now, at that event, and I always ask, who wish they had more people here? Who puts their hand up? Everyone. Now, you're still going to put your hand up should you have 5, 10, 15 people there, but you don't want to be sitting there with one person or no people going, yeah, far out, I wish I had more people at this event, okay? So this is when you want to start talking, especially in New Zealand, because we've got to fly there. New Zealanders, we've got to start talking to our people saying, hey, we need to get you coming to this event, and not even accepting no for an answer. Like just getting people like saying, you're coming to this event with me, we're going to go have fun, and you're going to meet some people. Now,
you're going to talk to them and you're going to help them make how to
you're going to help them have a plan to get there. How many enrollments do they have to do to pay for their flights if it's that bad? You know, you really want to be working at getting people to events, because trust me, and not even your person enrolled. Who do they have person enrolled that can get to the event? You know, who has a manager or above? Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few people.
Yeah, or who's borderline manager? Borderline manager. So Les and Andre, you guys are borderline managers. Alessandra, you're borderline manager. You have second PT. Yeah, Rachel and Isaac, you have. So you guys all have second PET members. Okay, you guys all have a first generation, which is the people you've personally enrolled. Okay, and you also have the people that they've enrolled. You've got to be thinking bigger. When we started this call, we always talk about thinking bigger. Sarah and I have like 6, 7 PET going on right now. Now we've got to get down there and saying, who do they know? Who do they know? Because it doesn't matter where they are in your tree. It doesn't matter at all, right? You want to be talking to them saying, hey, do you want to come to this event? Hey, do you want to come to this event? Hey, do you want Dessert for Life? You need to come to this event. If they say no, does it mean anything about us? No, absolutely not. At least we sent them the invitation. Warren Lance says it's not your decision to decide. It's just it's not your responsibility to decide. It's just your responsibility to invite. Invite. Sarah and I will have people at this event that aren't enrolled yet. Okay? We'll have at least 60 to 70 people there. At least. Hoping for more. Okay, from our downline. Now, if you want to enroll Sarah and I, you need to invite people like Sarah and I to this event. And ISAGENIX don't do it for no reason. ISAGENIX do whatever it takes to get your person enrolled in your team to their first corporate event. After that, you've done everything you can for them.
Even if you have to pay for their ticket.
Yep.
Okay, and I don't say this lightly because Josh and I bought numerous tickets last year for SKO. All right, and we weren't really in the financial place to do that, but we did it. And look what happened to our business.
Do you guys want to know what our biggest week's been because of getting people to events? No one wants to know. That's fine. No, I'm joking. So Sarah and I, our biggest week so far was 3 weeks ago, and we did $11,500.
That's freaking crazy.
Okay, 11. Now that is from just following the skills of network marketing. We've covered the first two: finding people to talk to, talking to people you find. Now, skill number 4 is getting people to events. Okay, skill number 4 is getting people to events. So we've got to be getting people to events, and I think I've said getting people to events at least 100 times in the last 3 minutes. So I hope you guys get it. Get yourself to the event. Get your people to the event. Get their people to the event. Think bigger. Think broader. And just bring as many people as possible.
And the thing is, guys, just take a second and look at yourself. You're all on this call for a reason. Okay, you didn't just give up your Monday night for shits and gigs. Like, you did it because you're investing in yourself. You're serious about your future. You're serious about helping people. You're serious about helping people with their finances, and you want this. You seriously want this more than you can even explain.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why you're not going to be SKO. There is no reason at all. If you're determined enough to be on this call, you're determined enough to get to the event.
Yeah, I think there's 8 weeks. Yeah. It must be about 8 weeks.
2 months.
2 months to SKO. We're going to be launching an incentive to get people there. Do you guys want to take advantage of it? You guys have Winter Winners Club for anyone that enrolled 2 people in June. You've got 4 people to enroll this month, so
you get a free ticket.
Free ticket and $100 plus the double PIBs if you do it in 2 weeks, right? So free ticket plus $100 spending money, which goes towards flights or whatever, plus a private training call with Kathy, I think it is. Like, you could be essentially paying very little to go, but who else do you know that you can get there? And we've way over talked, but I hope who gets the importance of events now? Hands up, please.
Who understands? Like 100%.
Okay, now who is going to work their butts off to get people to this event? Hands up, please.
Alessandra, put your hand up.
Who's going to work? Yeah, who's going to work tirelessly to get people to these events? Perfect. All right. And trust me, it's just going to work. So I hope we've talked enough now, Isaac.
Yeah, we love you guys, and we're just, like, super excited to get back to New Zealand and see everyone.
You guys are the best. Thanks so much, and just thanks for the generosity you guys have. I know, like, it didn't matter who was on this call. It could have been your financially linked team. It could have been anyone else, and I just know you guys want to add that value, whatever value you can, to people's lives. So just thank you so much for who you guys are, who you are for our team, and the leadership that you provide, especially as young people as well. Thanks heaps, guys.
No worries. Thanks, Isaac.
Love you guys.
Just one other thing, guys. I just wanted to acknowledge Nadia Oxby. She's on the call for hitting consultant this week. So friggin' awesome work, Nadia. And to anyone who is part of that journey and who are getting to consultant as well. And is there any, just rank advancements, is there anyone else here who is rank advanced or knows someone in their team that is rank advanced we can acknowledge? Cool. No, that's all right. No worries. So Nadia nailed it this week and leading the way rank advancement. Cool. Okay.
Go, Nadia.
Woo-hoo.
Yes, passionate.
End of the week.